Hello students, how are you everybody? I welcome you on behalf of my educational channel Raj Bioscope. Students, today we are going to study the Seven Ages written by William Shekespeare. Students, I am going to explain you the poem in great details and also the poetic devices used in this poem. So please stay with this video and give a like, and if you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel to get further update of similar nature. So let us start the poem. The Seven Ages of Man, also known as All the World's a Stage, is a dialogue from the English playwright William Shakespeare's comedy As You Like It. The dialogue takes place in Scene 7 of Act 2, where the dreamy philosopher Jackie is talking to Duke Senior and Orlando in the forest of Arden. They, they were having dinner with Duke Senior, confesses to Jackie that he and his men are alone and unhappy, whereas the whole world is full of joy. The Seven Ages of Man is the reply Jackie gives to Duke Senior. The purpose of this reply is partly to console the sad Duke Senior and partly to tell the audience of the play that unhappiness is a part of life and that we all go through certain stages of life. William Shakespeare was born in Stratford upon Avon on April 23rd, 1564 and died in 1616. He is considered by many to be the greatest dramatist of all time. He wrote a book of 154 sonnets, two long narrative poems, and about 3 dozen plays. Shakespeare used poetic and dramatic means to create unified aesthetic effects. Verse, he preferred the dramatic blank verse. The first stanza describes the birth of human. Shakespeare describes the world as stage. We come to this world by birth and exit this world by death, and in between we plays many roles. The first stage of our life is infant. At that time we are helpless, mewling and puking in the nurse arm. The second stage is schoolboy. This is where his formal education starts, but he is not entirely happy with school. His mother is ambitious for him and has washed his face thoroughly before sending him off to school, but he goes very slowly and reluctantly. The winning schoolboy, with his sichel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail, unwilling to school. Now the third stage, teenager. He has grown into his late teens and his main interest is girl. He is likely to make a bit of a fool of himself with them. He is sentimental, shying and writing poems to girls, making him a bit ridiculous. The lover, sighing like a furnace, with a awful valet made to him Mistress Eyebrow. The stage 4 young man. He is a bold and fearless soldier, passionate in the cause, prepared to fight for and quickly springs into action. He works on developing his reputation and takes risks to that end. A soldier full of strange oath. Now stage 5, middle-aged. He regarded himself as wise and experienced and doesn't mind sharing his views and ideas with anyone and likes many speeches. He made a name for himself and is prosperous and respected. As a result of his success, he has become vain. He enjoys the finer things in life like good food. Now stage 6, old man. He is old and nothing like his former self physically or mentally. He looks and behaves like an old man, dresses like one, and hears a thin piping voice now. His influence slips away. The lean and slippered pantaloon. Shakespeare describes with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. Now, stage 7, the final stage of life, the old age and death. He loses his mind and became insane. His hair and teeth fall out and his sight goes. Then he loses everything as he sinks into the oblivion of death. Second, childiness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Now students, look to the poem and we are going to discuss some poetic devices used in this poem. All the world's a stage. It is metaphor. Metaphor is a poetic device. And all the men and women merely players. This is also metaphor. Metaphor means something is replaced for something for a higher meaning. Understand? They have their exits and their entrance. And one man in his time plays many parts. Here alliteration is used, plays many parts. It is the rhyming word and here it is called alliteration. So alliteration is used. His acts being 7 ages, at first the infant. Here also alliteration is used. Mewling and puggling in the North's arm. Here it is hyperbole. Hyperbole means something said in exaggeration. So Shakespeare here used to use hyperbole also. Then the winning schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, crippling like a snail. Here winning schoolboys, winning is onomatopoeia word. Onomatopoeia word means it is the sounding word. So he is winning schoolboy. And shining morning face, creeping like a snail. Here simile is used. You see students, simile and metaphor are both are mostly alike, but in simile the word like is used and metaphor is almost exactly the same thing. So it is the basic difference between the metaphor and simile. So please be careful for this. So student, Shakespeare has used so many similes here in order to give a good impact to the poem. So there is another use of simile. Then a soldier full of strength oaths and dreaded like the fard. Here, like the fard, the simile is used. Genius in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation. Here, students, bubble reputation is enjambment. Enjambment is a like a chord, like a incomplete chord of a music, the impact of which is lasting throughout the rest of the song. So, enjambment is such a forceful word which willingly the poet leaves incomplete to project the impact throughout the poem. Now, students, see the uses of personification. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon. Here, personification is used. Shakespeare focuses more on the message of the dialogue rather than on the meter and rhyme scheme. We can, however, see a repetition of consonant sounds throughout the poem. Man, merely, man, many, mewling, morning, etc. And players, plays, parts, cooking, etc. are the prominent examples. Similarly, the final line is the best example of repetition used to emphasize the dramatize a single sentence where the word sans is repeatedly used 4 times for greater poetic impact. The final line represents the negative aspect of life. Here, Shakespeare wants to give a biblical reference to the 7 deadly sins, and in that respect, the sans everything phrases can be regarded as an experience of hellish life. Thus, we see from Jackie's dialogue a journey from infancy to infirmity through the 7 ages of man. As You Like is a pastoral comedy by William Shekespeare that was first performed in 1603. Here, Shakespeare refers to the helplessness of human life. Human is mere just puppet in the hand of Almighty God, and in this way, he often perplexed to understand the glory of God. Time flies before one's own eyes, and one is becoming helpless, just witnessing and doing nothing, like the theater in which when the show ends, we are forced to quit the theater whether we want it or not. This is the nature of time Shakespeare describes here. It is like life is like a book. A book has its origin and its end. When we read a book, it comes to an end. Life is like that. So, students, I have given a very brief description as well as explanation of the great poem The 7 Ages of Man, written by William Shakespeare. So, how do you like it? Give your comment and if you have any specific requirement, please write your request in the comment section so that I will prepare video accordingly. So please reap the benefit of a lockout. There is a saying that every cloud has a silver line. Due to coronavirus, the world is now a virtual wasteland. So try to extract the best out of waste. My best wishes to you, and stay well. Do not venture outside without masks. So if you have not yet subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get more update of similar nature. Please refer my channel Raj Bioscope to your friend also. So thank you very much for viewing. So goodbye for today and see you tomorrow.